Another issue from China sparks reactions in the international community. A Chinese security official's bid for a new job at a global policing body is raising alarm among lawmakers and rights activists. And they are warning their governments that electing this man would bring grave consequences. NTD's Juliet Song has more on that.
A top Chinese official is running for a post in the world's largest police organization, and 50 lawmakers worldwide are trying to stop him from getting it. The person in question is Hu Binchen. He's a senior official in China's Public Security Ministry, the security organ that protects Chinese Communist Party leaders. The lawmakers' concern is that Hu's election could allow Beijing to arrest dissidents around the world, like the tens of thousands of Hong Kongers and Uyghurs living abroad. This has to do with the authority of the police organization he's looking to work for. It's called the International Criminal Police Organization, or Interpol. Interpol is an intergovernmental agency and has almost 200 member countries. Police from those nations work together to track down criminals that have fled across borders. The way they do this is through a system of red notices. If a country wants to arrest a criminal that has fled to another country, it can submit a request to Interpol. After approval, Interpol then issues a red notice, alerting other member countries to locate and apprehend the wanted person. While this system can help bring criminals to justice, critics argue Beijing could also use it to go after dissidents. Among the critics is Sir Ian Duncan Smith, a British lawmaker.
People like myself, who are now sanctioned by the Chinese, could face red notices to countries that have extradition treaties with them.
Beijing sanctioned Smith over his criticism of China's human rights abuses. He's also among the 50 lawmakers warning their governments about the Chinese official's potential new job. Lawmakers argue Beijing has abused the red notice system to go after dissidents. For example, Morocco arrested a Uyghur activist named Idris Hassan earlier this July, under an Interpol red notice filed by China. Interpol later canceled the red notice, but Hassan could still face extradition to China. Another Uyghur activist, Duncan Isa, also got a red notice from Beijing. It lasted for almost 2 decades. Isa told NTD in an email that he was detained in multiple countries because of it, and the situation has led him to fear for his safety in democratic countries. Interpol removed the red notice on Isa in 2018. As for the Chinese official Hu Binchen, if he's elected, Hu would join a committee that supervises Interpol's day-to-day work. Smith argues electing Hu would be a step backwards.
I think for international institutions to accept somebody from a regime like that basically will pervert the institution itself. It should be manned by people from governments that are democratic and understand the importance of the rule of law, and that is not the case in the case of Hu Binchen.
He's also concerned about Beijing's influence on important international organizations.
It is all about, I think, China extending its influence into international institutions so that it can actually bend them to its own means.
Another British lawmaker is also voicing opposition to Hu's candidacy. He says the issue extends beyond the election itself.
Well, I think it's intertwined with many other things, with China's expanding military, its expanding overseas sort of ambitions. There are obvious concerns about the position with Taiwan at the moment. I think that's very, very live.
Beijing has been flexing its muscles toward Taiwan, regularly sending dozens of military aircrafts into the island's air defense zone.
For China to be given a more powerful role in Interpol, I just feel is a step in the wrong direction at this time. It needs to play the game as an international partner.
Interpol is set to vote on Hu Binchen's candidacy next week. NTD has reached out for comment but did not get a response before airtime. Juliet Song, NTD News.